Gaming news this week has been a bit of a mixed bag, and we did do an upload and a live show pretty much every day this week. So if you missed any of my videos, be sure to check them out. We are going to be talking about some of the things today that we have not yet covered, but just to give you a quick recap of the week, we kicked off by talking about Dragon Age the Veilguard and why it changed my mind. So check out this video on the channel if you have not seen that one yet, as well as a live discussion that followed. I did do a live show with Kirk from What's New Video Games, and we talked about Avowed and should they delay it, seeing signs of improvement, but thinking that some of the combat and some of the elements of the game still looking like they could use some polish. And then we went back to Elden Ring, and I've got a video right now. A lot of people have actually watched this video talking about how I think I quit too soon. I'm going to go back on my own. And then the following day, we jump back into the DLC. We spent an ample amount of time sort of working on my character the day before, so you can watch that stream if you're a member. But this video, as well as my live stream of gameplay, is available on the channel, so be sure to check that out. And then we talked about all the games coming in July that I think are worth looking into, and we will be playing and covering some of those on the channel. So check out that video as well as the discussion that was yesterday. But now we could recap some of that, revisit some of that if you'd like, but things that we didn't cover. Concord previews are dropping. I have a pretty strong opinion on what we've seen so far, and it's not very good. Xbox and Amazon have partnered to put xCloud on 2 Fire Sticks, continuing to push, you know, the marketing that you don't need a console. We're also seeing previews for Astro Bot and Lego Horizon Adventures. So that is basically where we are right now. And we want to start doing this on Friday as a great way to end the week and just give us a little bit more of a less structured discussion about all the various gaming news that has transpired. So all week long, I brought the news to you, and then on Friday, you can bring it to me. If there's anything you feel like I missed out on or didn't cover, or anything that's, you know, sort of breaking right now, you can bring it here, ask me what I think, and we can discuss it. We're also launching something new on Fridays for all Member Plus and above. So if you are paying for your membership, you're going to want to make sure you're at a Member Plus or above. That's the $6 membership. It's $1 more than standard, but it does help us sort of distinguish between everybody who's in the gifted pool and not. And once a week, we're going to do the green room. We do the writer's room every day of the week, and that's for everybody. And we also do Friday night, you know, streams with my wife. But the green room on Friday afternoons will be a great time just to kind of relax with the members. No structure, no plan, maybe gameplay, things like that. So make sure you upgrade your membership today or whenever you can if you want to be a part of that on Fridays. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure and smash that like button. Thanks for a really quick and strong turnout. We're only 3 minutes into the broadcast, and there's already a bunch of you here. And if this format gets support, I will be thrilled. This is something that I've always wanted to do, something that's not necessarily one topic focused, but multi-topic, lots of different things going on in the gaming world. I can't cover it all, and Friday can serve as a nice catch-all. Also, remember, you guys had an enormous member day yesterday. You are now about, like, I think 93 members away from making Creature, from summoning Creature to come play with me tonight. We'll play Party Animals. My wife and I will stream tonight no matter what, but you guys are so close to the goal after a huge day yesterday. So take a quick moment and smash a like button if you haven't done so already. And if there's something you want to talk about, bring it up in chat. Dustin Straw says, Concord looks rough. I don't disagree. We looked at this yesterday in members, and I gotta tell you, it actually looks worse. This may end up being a video on Monday if I can put together my thoughts in a really well-organized way. So I don't necessarily want to cannibalize that and sort of take that talk show on topic away, but I don't think it looks very good. Zubair, we're trying to figure out something we can do for the VIPs. We understand that we were doing VIPs on Friday, but then we got a bunch of people to sign up for Member Plus, and now we're not doing anything for Member Plus. So I'm in a bit of a tough spot. I'm considering doing something for VIPs. Maybe that's more IRL or something with my phone. I would need to get a new phone, though. I can't currently use this microphone or the podcasting microphone that was sent to me a while ago. So, yeah. Get me in for the morning, folks. Yo, what's good, Derek? Good to see you. Guys, Derek doesn't have a badge. We got to take care of that. We were thinking of discounts on coffee, actually, Zubair. We were thinking about doing a monthly code that would go into the VIP lounge in the Discord. other perks like that. Bumblepan says, Concord doesn't look that bad to me, just utterly forgettable. And Han shot first, and so did you. Lone Wolf starts the day with the 5-bomb. He says, we only need about 90 members. He said, well, let's chop that down by about 5. Thank you so much, sir, for getting us started on this lovely Friday. Thank you guys so much. Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox. What is this Elden Ring alerts? Spoiler status. Oh, yeah, the Placidusax, or whatever that fight is called. That looks really cool. I think that's... Oh, those are for multiple bosses. Yeah, the first boss is from standard Elden Ring. Concord gameplay looks fun, says Monty Mole. I mean, weigh in on this, guys. I mean, I can pull it up. I thought that the Concord gameplay looked bad. I actually argued, yesterday with people about this. I think it looks worse than everything we've seen up to now. The stuff they showed in their gameplay preview I thought looked fine. I thought it looked an awful lot like Destiny. IGN right here, Stella wrote this. I actually really like Stella's input. I've read some of her stuff before, but the footage here is mainly what I want to focus on, not necessarily her, her commentary or her thoughts. Although she did seem to think that this would be, designed for people who are really going to sweat and be team-oriented. Like, you're not going to really want to play this one by yourself. Raptor with 15 months in the VIP. Good morning, Lono. Hope you've been well. Keep up the grind. I would love a monthly code for coffee discounts. Okay, I think we could probably do that. That's not that difficult to basically generate our own code for VIP and put it in the VIP lounge. In the Discord. But yeah, somebody says this looks like mobile Destiny. Obviously I can't get over the Destiny influence, the map design, movement like that, like just literally a one-to-one rip from the Hunter in Destiny. And I find that disappointing that they didn't even attempt another one right there, like a little side dodge. This is basically the animation of the in-air dodge of the Warlock. And, I don't know. And right there, jumping up and slamming down, I just find it frustrating a little bit, or maybe even disappointing that they didn't really even do new things with some of the characters. They just one-to-one are taking animations like right out of Destiny. That to me is not very compelling. Yo, Ristic gifts a member. Thank you so much. And takes us to 6 members on the day. You guys don't need that much today to summon creature tonight. He's still strutting around cocky. He thinks you guys can't do it. You only need about 90. Here's another one. Here's another one of those dodges. Just a little spin. It's like they didn't even try to make it distinguished from Destiny. I don't deny that it looks like it could be fun, but I don't see anything with longevity here. Another one from Rizzik, and it goes to Derek. We love to see that. Thank you so much, taking us to 7 members on the day. Risik, thank you. Hang on. Excuse me. And thank you, everybody, for smashing that like button. 100 people already hitting the like button, man. Thank you so much. We're only 8 minutes into the stream, and a lot of you already hanging out and enjoying the morning. The UI and the font looks cheap. Yeah, looks rough. That bottom left-hand corner is just awful. It's truly terrible. It honestly, if I'm honest with you, I think it looks like they built this for mobile. Like that, maybe they think they can bring it to mobile at some point or something. It's like they built it with this almost, I don't want to say elasticity. That's not the right word. Adaptability. It's like they built this to be like, oh, we could easily adapt this to mobile. Creature doesn't know how to walk. He only be strutting. That's right. GameSpot's preview got me cautiously interested in the free beta at least. Yes, you can pre-order. The beta starts on the 12th and runs for a couple of days. And then there's another one at the end of the month. This is in July. So July 12th through the 14th. And then the open beta for everybody is the 26th through the 28th. So, a lot of PvP heads want a PvP-focused Destiny game. This is it. Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that there is a potential audience for it. I think my main concern is always going to be, how in the world does a game like this last? I've never denied in all my coverage of Concord and all my commentary of Concord, I've never denied that it looks fun, because it does. It looks like a fun game. Fun is, number one, obviously that's subjective, but fun doesn't necessarily translate into a game that lasts. Everybody thought that Splitgate was fun, and Splitgate kind of exploded in its early weeks. you know, more than they intended. And whereas, you know, the hype for that game died very quickly. And another 5 bomb comes in from Gray Bush Gaming, takes us to 12 members on the day. Thank you so much for doing that. Vengeance with 33 months and a VIP. Lono, haven't been here in a while. I need a detailed too long didn't read of what I missed since March. You missed a lot of videos and talk shows. That's the too long didn't read. Game Informer was pretty high on it. Yeah. I'm just going to keep saying there were people that were really high on Redfall 2. I do not think press outlets giving this praise means anything. I really don't. It doesn't mean anything to me. Number one, press outlets are rarely negative on previews. They're rarely negative. Unless the preview is an absolute disaster, they're going to be generically positive. Secondly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Anybody who spends an afternoon playing this is going to walk away and say it was fun. It's like, okay. I don't think a 5v5 hero shooter has a chance of lasting. I just don't. I really don't. 6 months in, I think this thing, you know, and again, we keep coming back to this. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, and that may be okay. You know, the budget for this, the team for this may be small enough that they don't need it to be an explosive game. They just need it to have a decent player base, you know, and that to them would be a success. They'll break even. They'll get information. You know, if they have a player base long enough to take this thing 2 years, they make their money back. They learn a lot about player behavior. Yeah, we're talking a little bit about Concord. There was a lot of gaming news this week, and the Concord previews broke yesterday. Like, I'll give you an example of why I don't find previews all that compelling. There are really positive previews right now for Astro Bot. I can generally trust those. Why? And that generally speaks to the game's quality. Why? Well, because that's all the game is. It's a one-off. You know, I'm going to play through that game one time, and if it's good in a preview, it's likely going to be good in the whole package. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a live service game. We're talking about a 5v5 arena shooter, and it's like, okay, good for an afternoon. That doesn't mean anything for the long-term health of the game. Yo, Darius Ward was 6 months in a VIP, got my 6-month badge. I'm always tuned in, great work. And a single gifted from Darius. He says, listen, I'll do my part to help summon Creature to Friday night. He gets us to 13. Thank you so much, sir. So, you know, there's a lot of games coming out, right? Another piece of gaming news that broke this week, or maybe not broke this week, but has been relevant as of late, is Marvel Rivals announced how you can sign up for their beta. And I think Marvel Rivals stands a better chance of getting an audience. Now, again, all of this could turn into white noise. Like, I don't even think Marvel Rivals is a game I would play for more than an afternoon. They're not my kind of games. I don't really do the PvP thing, right? So, you know, Marvel Rivals could be the same thing. It could just be white noise, and it could be dead in a couple of years because if they don't make the money they want, you know, Marvel and Disney will walk away. You know, they're not going to support something if it's not generating the revenue. So that, you know, same deal with that. But I think Marvel Rivals looks better. I think there's elements to it that stand to be more broadly appealing. Because at the end of the day, I think that's how games like this get their funnel full. You have to be broadly appealing. You have to have a funnel that's very welcoming. Concord costs $40, and it's a 5v5 hero shooter that's been described as kind of sweaty, and you know, that's going to make it tough, I think, to get a very full funnel of players. Definitely look like short-term fun type games, says Raptor, but how long will that last? What's going to keep me coming back to it? Right. They have an interesting take, too. This is what I found interesting. They're going to do like a weekly cinematic, weekly story thing. And I'm like, wait, what? How? Why? Like that to me sounds honestly kind of crazy. You know, to do some kind of a weekly you know, story, a weekly cinematic, you know, are all of these new? Are like week to week, are they adjusting the story, or have they already been made? Like, are they going to have, you know, 50 some odd cinematics that they've already created so that the year is basically set? Are they going to affect the maps? Is it going to affect the gameplay? You know, right here's a video that says, We aren't okay. So Digital Foundry says we aren't excited about Concord or Marvel Rivals on PS5. You know, and 3 weeks ago, somebody said the latest Concord gameplay trailer currently has 5,000 likes and 43,000 dislikes. Yeah, that got hurt. You know, that doesn't make sense to me at all. To me, First Descendant out Tuesday. Yeah, that was another piece of gaming news that we covered this week in my Top Games in July video. We talked about First Descendant, and we will be covering the First Descendant on this channel to see, you know, are they gonna keep things in line? You know, how are they gonna handle the microtransactions? I'm gonna be talking with Kirk on Monday, sort of setting the table, if as it were, and we'll be, you know, talking about the First Descendant, and then we'll be diving in and we'll be playing it. Wheezy says they're doing the Overwatch stories, but instead, for a new character, they'll do it weekly. I don't know. Here's my thought on that, Wheeze. Are PvP people looking for that? Like, is that what's going to keep people coming back to a 5v5 hero shooter? Like, is that what made people, continue to come back to Apex Legends? What makes people continue to come back to Valorant? It seems a little out of place, but, you know, I don't know. Personally, I think it's a little out of place. They called the cinematics vignettes, and the reveal cinematic was called an extended vignette. Am I saying that right? That's another one of those words I always struggle with. I think I'm saying that right. I think the reveal was only like 3 to 4 minutes long, so I think the weekly ones will be about a minute. Weezy says no, absolutely not. I know Fridays are different. I just wanted to have a better feel for when stuff actually starts. I really like the uploads because they're on time. Right. Fridays are always going to be in flux, Sway. They're always going to be in flux. What I would like to do is establish it like Monday through Thursday. We are launching a new segment called Morning Coffee that you can start the day with me if you're a member. From 9 to 9:30, we're just going to chill, have a little coffee, you know, have a little chit-chat, and then we'll go over to the premiere, and then we'll go to the live. Fridays, I just can't do that. I'm like literally getting back to my house and scrambling to make the thumbnail and everything. It just isn't possible. It isn't possible. I'll consider maybe I could make everything the night before if I made thumbnails and descriptions the night before. Yeah, you know what? We could have, actually. We could have done it today. I would just have to create stuff the night before. I like the idea of having that consistency. We'll see. The gameplay and the ladder is what brings people back to Valorant, says Creature. No worries, just trying to clear up the new flow. Yeah. The new flow is that Monday through Thursday should be pretty locked in. Friday would be the least likely to get an upload, more likely to be a little bit of a later start, more laid back, just gaming news show like we're doing right now, and then the green room for Member Plus and above, where we just kind of chill, play some games. You know, that's more laid back as well. Friday nights for all members, gifted and up. Very sad that I'm also out of Frickmas blend. Yeah. July, we're going to be doing some exciting stuff in July, so keep your eyes open in July, and we should have everything back up and running on our own site instead of using what we've been using. So what we've been using was fine for you guys, but it wasn't good for us. It didn't give us the things that we wanted. How long until everyone is playing the same character and meta one-shotting everyone? You can't do that in a hero shooter. Typically only one hero per team, right? If you've got some big tank, they usually limit that, so you can't have an entire team of that character. I mean, I could be wrong, but I would imagine that's how they're going to do that in this game. I don't do coffee. I'll have a joint with you guys. There you go. That's fine. You can start your day that way. You want to wake and bake. That's your call. Fallout was mainly because Overwatch 2 was created because they were going to be adding PvE, and then they said, never mind, LOL. Yeah, they also didn't... I don't think they won a whole lot of hearts and minds with how they treated the pro scene either, right? With how they treated the pro scene. Hey, I got a new shirt on from Into the AM. Forgot to draw attention to this. Another new one from them. Remember, they're doing a site-wide sale. It's like a 30% off site-wide sale, and you can stack my code on top. 10% of mine is on top of the thing they're already doing. So use code Lono or intotheam.com/Lono. They'll probably use whatever anti-cheat Destiny 2 uses. I honestly can't stand One Life games. Who wants to watch other people play the game for like 5 minutes? Well, I mean, the Concord won't be that. I think Concord will be. It doesn't. I don't know if it's. Oh, it might be actually. Well, it depends on the game mode sometimes. Yeah, it depends on the game mode. Yeah, Valorant, you're definitely, it's round based, so you're out. You got to wait till the round's over. OWL was also completely manufactured by Blizzard, says Grant. I give more slack to a game when it's free, says Wheezy. When a game charges up front, I will scrutinize it more. Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty significant difference in the player funnels comparing like Marvel Rivals to Concord. You know, Marvel Rivals is just going to be like download it and check it out and see what you think. And then, you know, Concord's asking for $40. Alapark says, I find it interesting that Microsoft canceled their cloud box, but then announced a partnership with Amazon for the Fire Stick. More signs that hardware is going to be outsourced, in my opinion. Yeah, that's another piece of the gaming news that hit yesterday. If you guys saw this, Xbox partnering with Amazon and enabling xCloud on just 2 Fire Sticks, 2 specific ones, and, you know, stressing once again, no console needed with some of the marketing. And I don't think that's a bad read on it, Alapark. You know, the idea that, hey, they're doing this, and, you know, they might start outsourcing the hardware. You know, they canceled their own, whatever it was called, the Keystone. They canceled the Keystone because they couldn't get the price to the right place. So they could just start partnering with other manufacturers that already make some type of a hardware and say, hey, we would like to partner with you and make Game Pass available on your device. Most of the modes are round-based, which has me more interested. Preview said there weren't really traditional classes. Some characters obviously are geared towards certain things, but not the traditional tank, healer, dip setup. A little more free-flowing. $40 for Concord seems outrageous to me. I'm not going to say it seems outrageous. I'm going to say it just seems... I don't know if outrageous is the word that I would use. I think I would use the word ambitious. It's like, well, that's a little ambitious. You know, a PvP-only game charging... You know, in 2024, a PvP-only game charging money, I think is a little ambitious. You know, I think some of this is going to be similar to what Helldivers 2 did. Helldivers 2, $40. They had meager expectations of the player base. You know, anyone who plans on taking Rivals seriously won't be able to play it free to play. Hero shooters require you to have the entire roster unlocked to be competitive. Rivals will 100% cost more than 40. So, okay, so Gray Bush, is that how they're going to handle Marvel Rivals? Are you going to have to basically, like, buy characters? You know, so, like, 1 week they release, you know, Venom, and Venom's, like, meta. And if Venom is meta, are they going to basically make it to where people have to buy Venom? Or can you, like, unlock the characters in Marvel Rivals? Have they talked about that? You think free-to-play with microtransactions is the way to go? I think free-to-play with cosmetic microtransactions is the way to go. Like, if Marvel Rivals is going to be charging for the characters, I don't think that works for a hero shooter. I think that's fraught with problems from moment one. That is fraught with problems from moment one. So from moment one, you're setting things up to be, you're putting actual content, power, advantages behind a paywall. I think that doesn't work in a... I don't think that works in a PvP game. Right? I don't think that works. You're setting things up, I think, to automatically have not just criticism but complaint. You're going to turn people off, you know. If you want to sell cosmetics, I don't care about that. It's a PvP game, you know. You want to sell different suits for Iron Man and Spider-Man and, you know, all the different characters. The cosmetics are endless. Valorant will struggle on console as it's not good on controller. I thought we had already heard really good response to Valorant on console on controller. I thought there had already been people saying that game felt good on console. Overwatch started putting the new characters in the battle pass. They did, and didn't they get a ton of criticism for that? Overwatch was full price, but the new characters were free. This is how console aim assist works in Valorant. This is like a Reddit clip, I'm assuming. Yeah. It won't play the video. Crosshair does not turn toward an enemy while you're running. Though there's an almost insensible crosshair movement when you walk. Okay. That... Alright. Aim assist doesn't correct your shots at all. Okay. Essentially, all aim assist does is lower your sensitivity once your crosshair meets an enemy. Yo, Stone Spire gifts a member and takes us to 14 members on the day. Yeah, I mean, again, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the lack of aim assist is going to turn people off, but it might not turn off the people that really like games like that. Yeah, the guy replying says, this is probably the best version of aim assist I've seen. It still definitely helps, but it also isn't tuned down to aimbot, says that guy. Yeah, like, they're not getting traction on console except amongst hardcores. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that matters to them. You know? And another one from Stone Spire takes us to 15. Stone Spire's setting it up. He wants that 10 gifted member dunker. He's like, somebody drop the 10 bomb of members. Thank you so much, Stone Spire. If you guys are enjoying this show, this format is something we want to do on Fridays. It's just gaming news this week. Anything that happened, it's kind of a free-for-all. We've talked about Concord. We've talked about Marvel Rivals. Somebody brought up, Xbox partnering with Amazon for xCloud and continuing to kind of reestablish no console needed in some of the marketing. There's a lot. Now we're talking a little bit about Valorant. How will Valorant be received on console? What's good, Liquid Smoke? How are you? Did anybody play Happy Wars on Xbox? That game was super pay to win, but also super fun. I didn't play that one. Valorant feels great on console to me, says Monty Mole. It's going to appeal to a small core, and that's it. I mean, again, I'm going to say maybe. I feel like there's a lot of people that play PvP games in a really, a high-level, kind of sweaty way. And I don't know, they might find it appealing. This guy replied to the Valorant aim assist Reddit post, and he says, this is pretty cool, so it doesn't snap to head. It just gives you lower sense when you overlap with the body. So playing with cursor at head height is very pseudo-mousy in the sense that you'll only have to micro-adjust if they walk into you. Otherwise, it's full sensitivity for the sake of moving. People that are good on console probably won't have too hard of a time crossing over platforms because you need to play the same way. People seem heavily impressed and wanting to play even more. Yeah, I don't know. I will agree with this, okay? If this is what Eugene's driving at. He may be overstating his case, but I think what he's saying is driving at a true point. The more casual player that wants like really high aim assist, they're not going to like Valorant. They're going to feel like they're shooting around people, right? If you're super accustomed to very, very reactionary, very, very helpful aim assist, you're probably not going to like Valorant on console, would be my guess. So I think he may be right there. I guess the question would be if it feels good to average and above players. I was an average player, and I liked Valorant on PC. I thought it was fun playing with my buds. I really liked playing on the ladders because I felt like we got into really good close games. It was never a landslide. And so, if an average player finds the aim assist to be adequate and they can have a good time, I think that's a lot of people. I actually think that might end up being a healthier game because then you don't have all of the garbage player cannon fodder that's going to want like really, really over-tuned skill-based matchmaking. I think that might end up being good for the game, is that the minimal aim assist will appeal to average and above players and not average and down, like the lower half of average. The question of whether Valorant is a threat to other games. I don't know if Valorant will be a threat to other games, but here's something to consider, Eugene. Let's say whatever the number of players that Valorant ends up appealing to, those are players now that you don't even get to really try to market Concord to, right? So like, yo, Lido with 26 months of memberships. Welcome back, Lido. Celebrating my birthday in the company. Lono and chat. More Elden Ring today. Probably in the green room. Yes, the green room is designed for member plus and above. So you're going to want to upgrade your membership. This is a once a week thing we're going to do on Fridays. The green room is not like the writer's room, right? It's just for, the green room is something for hanging out, chilling, playing games, whatever. Maybe even playing games with the community. And it's going to be for member plus and above. So you guys are going to want to consider upgrading. It's only on Fridays. The rest of the week we go to the writer's room. You get to see behind the scenes and show planning. Fridays are going to be a little bit different. Going to be a little bit less structured and more laid back. That's what we're doing right now. Like, there's no structure right now. We're just talking gaming news. Whatever we end up talking about, we talk about. I have friends who are wood tier with 5,000 CSGO hours. When a game feels good and hits, it hits. I promise not every 1 million daily CSGO players are global elite. Right, so back to what I was saying. And guys, take a quick second to make sure YouTube's not acting funky with the likes. You know, we ask for them every once in a while, and sometimes it doesn't work. So double check that your thumbs up are saving. Let's shoot for 200. That's the next milestone likes we'd like to see. It really does help out the video. So in my estimation, a game like Concord is going to appeal to a certain type of player, okay? I think a good percentage of the players that Concord would appeal to are going to like and play Valorant instead. I do. I think that's fair to say. I don't think I'm saying anything scandalous or outlandish, but I think somebody who's like, oh, a hero shooter, you know, a round-based hero shooter, I think, let's just say you have 1 million people that Concord might appeal to. I think a percentage of that 1 million people are going to say, I want to play and I like Valorant more, right? It's like when you try to make a battle royale, right? Like there are people who are like, I like Apex and it appeals to me more than Fortnite, or I like Warzone and it appeals to me more than Apex or whatever. So I think Concord's already facing an uphill battle because you're entering into a landscape that's already saturated, number one. Number two, there are other games coming out to console that are going to appeal to the market that you're trying to appeal to. Like, I can't look at Concord, and be like, yeah, it doesn't have anything in common with any of these other games. Like, no, it has a lot in common with these other games. Ergo, you can point out all the differences you want. It doesn't matter. There are people right now who, if there was no Valorant, if there was no Marvel Rivals, they would say, oh yeah, I'm going to check out Concord. But with Marvel Rivals landing, with Valorant coming to console, you're greatly diminishing the potential audience that gives Concord a try. Or at the very least, plays it at length and gives it a lengthy go. You're fighting for people's attention. That's ultimately what you're doing. So if any of these people spend time in Valorant and it really starts to hook them and they really like it, they're now less likely to check out and play your game for any length of time. And the opposite is true, obviously. Anybody who plays Concord first and decides they really like Concord, they're now less likely to check out and play or enjoy Valorant. Like, sometimes the first thing you play and the affinity that you develop for that thing, sometimes that kind of sets the trajectory, and then you have a hard time enjoying something else. It doesn't mean your enjoyment's illegitimate or something like that, but that just is kind of how things shade your perception. Like, sometimes if you get introduced to a band and it's like their third album, that ends up being your favorite album. When the guy that's liked the band since the beginning is like, oh no, their first album is the best. So like, your touch point sometimes, whatever you interact with first, can greatly influence what you end up liking. So if you end up playing one of these in a different order, you know, that's going to determine which one you like. I just think that makes an uphill battle for all of them. That makes the uphill battle for all of them, because now they're all facing the same challenge. Like, we all are appealing to very similar type players. Like, players that like PvP, players that like hero shooters, players that like, you know, working together as a team and thinking about strategy and all of this, people that are round-based or whatever. And you've got all these other options now. I think it's going to be tough. This is true, says Zubair. Lono has ruined other live streams for me. I need arguments about semantics now. That's right. We aim high here. How I always say there's nothing wrong with games as a service, but the reality is there are only so many hours in the day. It's easier to appeal to someone with something free because there's no inherent cost prohibition. Yeah, I agree with you, Wheezy. Valorant, what's cost of Valorant? You mean Pearl Jam's 10? It's their only good album. Sven says, I just hope Lono had a good night with his family talking about Frostpunk 2 last night. Rivals alone is a mountain Concord won't be able to top. Valorant just makes it worse, says Therapy Quantified. Stonespire says, 80 more members and we get Creature tonight, y'all. Let's go. Stonespire's calling on the crowd. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to act like it's insurmountable, right? Like Therapy Quantified, you know, you're being obviously a little bit hyperbolic. But kind of like what Wheezy is saying, let's just ignore Valorant and Rivals for just a second. You right now can play Fortnite for free. You can play Call of Duty Warzone for free. You can play, wasn't there a time where they were charging for Apex Legends? I don't think they are anymore. I feel like, wasn't there a time where they were charging it? Weren't there people that did pay and like you were like a founder or something? But yeah, you can play Apex Legends for free. They've never charged for Apex? I must be thinking of a different game then. I feel like there was a game like that where like you could pay money at some point. They've only ever done battle passes and cosmetic packs. I must be thinking of a different game. Anyways, the point is it's free now. So, well, it's free. It's always been free. The point is that anybody right now that wants to play a game where you go pew pew and you attack the other players, you've got a lot of options that cost nothing. You know, you've got Fortnite, you've got Apex, you've got Warzone. That was Fortnite. Well, no, Fortnite had the save the world or whatever the heck. That was PvE. Maybe I'm thinking of Overwatch. I think I'm thinking of Overwatch. Overwatch was $40 at launch and then went free to play. And then that was true of PUBG too, wasn't it? Or does PUBG still cost money? Does PUBG... No, yeah, PUBG's free. Wasn't there a time also where PUBG was like 30 or 40 bucks? Or am I misremembering? It might have been that one as well. Yeah, Overwatch cost money at launch and then now it's free to play. And then I swear PUBG charged initially. Big Evil with 18 months of membership says, as someone who's only beat one boss in Elden Ring and put it down, do you think now is the time to give it another try? I mean, Big Evil, you have to have a pretty good working knowledge of Elden Ring. So for those of you who don't know, I went into the Elden Ring DLC, I beat the Divine Beast Lion, and then I was like, this is fun. I don't really feel like doing this right now. I didn't like my build. The enemies are very spammy in Shadow of the Erdtree. And then I saw a video of Asmongold playing with a certain build, and I was like, I want to do that. You have to remember that when I watched that clip of Asmongold, I had almost 2 full playthroughs worth of game time. I beat the entire game, I got all the way to Radahn on New Game Plus, and then I created a whole new character, and I got all the way to the Fire Giant. So I have a pretty lengthy working knowledge of the game, like 130-something hours before Erdtree came out. So when I saw Asmongold's build, I understood it and said, I like playing that way. I'm going to do that because I like Sword and Shield. If you've only played up to beating one boss and you're like, oh, is now the time to come back? You would have to have a good working knowledge of the game and some builds that you might have seen that appeal to you. Because the game, it's tough. But if you can navigate the different builds and the different things to either... Maybe you want to make it more approachable. Maybe you want to make it easier. I don't think there's any shame in that. Miyazaki himself has come out and said that he uses the things in the game, you know, as much as if it's there, he's going to use it, right? He likes to. He's not very good, and he likes to use all the tools at his disposal. So, you know, all the gatekeepers would basically make fun of the guy who makes the game, like the genius behind Elden Ring and FromSoft Games, Miyazaki himself. All these FromSoft gatekeepers would basically gatekeep him. So, you know, these people don't matter, okay? But the point is that if you're open to doing all those things, I think you can have an amazing time in Elden Ring. Talica with 25 months in a VIP says 25 months and a lot to go. Thank you so much, Tally, for 2 years and then some. Tyler Johnson with 35 months in a VIP, almost 3 entire years. If you could beat the main game, you could beat the DLC. He beat one boss in the main game is what he said. I don't think he said he beat the main game. Maybe I misunderstood. I might have misunderstood. Yeah, there's walkthroughs, guides, wikis. You could become a member and get in our Discord and just play with other people, you know. Apex had a Champion Edition when you pay money to unlock all the characters. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so PUBG was paid, says Wheezy. It's free to play now. Okay, I was right in thinking that. Okay, that's why I thought that. I was like, I know a couple of these were like, they charged money initially, and then they ended up doing, and then they ended up not charging later. The possibilities from experimenting Elden Ring is nuts for sure. Counter-Strike was paid originally. Yeah. Counter-Strike, a lot of those games. And you have to ask the question, why would so many of these uber popular games, why would they do that? Why would they be free to play now? Well, I believe it's because the market has shifted and changed. I believe the market has shifted and changed, and because of that, you are going to run into, you're constantly going to run into the problem of you're putting a wall between you and the players. You know, Valorant is free to play. You know, so I want you to think about something. If you're the average PvP minded player and you like hero shooters, and you go to the store, of your console, and you see Valorant for free, you see Marvel Rivals for free, and then you see Concord for $40. Which one do you think you're going to play first? I mean, I think the answer is so obvious. It's like, well, you're going to install the free ones first and try them out. Remember the Power World drama when they said they were the most paid stream game ever, but the PUBG people complained because it used to be paid and it's free now, so it didn't count. Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. Just seen a guy who last year no-hit every boss. He killed most of them with magic crap in 2 hits. Most bosses were dead before they even got up off the ground and got their weapons out. Yeah, there's some really busted build clips I'm seeing of guys that, like, they just get close to the enemy and, like, hit them once or twice and then it's over. That is, that's definitely happening, for sure. You download Valorant, no question. Yeah, I just think PvP games are in a really unique position. I do. I think they're in a really unique position because you have free-to-play games that are just monolithic. They're leviathans, and like that almost sets the expectation. Fortnite's free, Warzone's free, Apex is free, Valorant's free. You know, you got, and then yeah, you got brand recognition, like what Chris is saying. Valorant has the brand recognition. Yeah, so does Marvel Rivals. It's Marvel. You're going to see Spider-Man and Venom and Iron Man flipping around, flying around, and blowing stuff up, and you're going to say, that looks pretty cool. Like, if my son would play Marvel Rivals. And I think there are sweaty PvP players that will play Marvel Rivals. Therapy quantified, I think you accidentally put something that looked like a link. You put either.it. It looks like a link. You said, Concord doesn't seem to offer anything new. It definitely is an uphill climb. Elden Ring is a learning process, says Albion. My advice is to learn the game in the beginning before you try to push through. Then use all the tools at your disposal. Yeah, something that we discussed this week. I mean, this is on the subject of gaming news this week. So if you've never been here before, we're trying out something new this morning. And if you've been here for a long time and you're lurking, listening, and you like the content that we make, if you like this, it's more laid back. Take a quick second and smash that like button. Almost 400 people here. Let's try to hit 200 likes. And you guys, if this gets to like 93 today, you can summon Creature tonight. So the member goal is very, very attainable for the week. So, yeah, with Elden Ring, something we covered this week, you know, I said I think I quit too early and I came back to the game. I went through a bit of a metamorphosis this week in sort of like how I look at Elden Ring. And I think I really hurt my first playthrough because I wanted to do everything just by myself. Zubair with a 5 bomb. Thank you so much. Taking us to 20 members on the day. Don't forget, every 25, I give 5 back to the community as well as a thank you. So, I came fresh off of a full playthrough of Dark Souls 3 and Sekiro for the first time ever. It was my first time in those games. And so I go into Elden Ring. And when I get to the second half of the game, I'm starting to realize that summoning will make a huge difference. And I have Black Knife Tiche. And, she is incredibly strong in most fights, especially when you level her up. But when I did it, it ended up feeling like I was kind of like cheating. It didn't feel like I was actually beating the boss. Yo, good morning, Trippy Moon. You beat the Twin Knight last night? Oh, nice. Last night in the DLC, I think I got to and beat like the third maybe boss. I think I've beaten 3 bosses so far. Anyways, for me though, I think what I started to realize was like I was looking at the game upside down. I was looking at the game as if you're only supposed to use this really small slice of equipment and stuff. There's a video right now, Asmongold reacted to it, where the guy basically is like, the worst way to get out of the way of damage is to dodge. Blocking with the shield or jumping actually is superior in a lot of situations. There's attacks you can literally just straight up jump over. Also, there are times where you don't even need to dodge. You just need to kind of pivot out of the way. Like, if their windup is really long and you just kind of start circling them, they're going to miss. Because once they go to start, they lock in and you just kind of keep going. There were a couple Margaret attacks that were like that. Did the boss die? If yes, you beat the boss. That's right. And so, I mean, this guy puts this video together, and if you consider all the different things you can do and how most people will literally play Elden Ring and they will only dodge the entire time, I thought similarly. It's like, well, I need to use a weapon and a shield and dodge, or a weapon and dodge, and that's it. Therapy Quantified gets us to the 25, and now I owe you guys 5 members. You're well on your way to summoning creature tonight. You only needed 90, and now you already have 25. Thank you so much. So for me, what I finally decided, I was like, listen, use everything that you can. Like, this is something I think that really gets lost on people with Elden Ring. Elden Ring is literally motivating you, teaching you, telling you to use those things. Like, you honestly think they put all of those summonables in the game just because what? They felt like it? No. The game is quite literally designed around the idea that people are going to be able to summon somebody for help and they're going to be really strong. It wouldn't even surprise me if that's why a lot of the enemies have attacks, that when they do the attack, they end up swinging backwards a little bit. That happened in Liza P on a couple of fights. I would like summon the guy to help me so that I could kind of like watch the enemy's attacks and kind of memorize them, because it's a little bit easier to do when you're not the one being attacked. And I was like going up behind them sometimes to hit them, to take advantage, and I would get hit anyway. And the Agent of Chaos is Patrick Q. He pushes us past 25. And there's the 5 I owe you in chat. Thank you guys so much for doing that. Wheezy says, a clear example of a new IP with no recognition. Look at the finals. Free to play, good game, pure PvP, and it's struggling as is. It's hard in the PvP market, even harder for brand new games. Right. Right. Yeah, like the finals, you know, everybody's singing the praises of X Defiant. Okay, well, talk to me in 2 months if it's still around. Talk to me in 6 months if it's still around, if it's still kicking and pulling in good engagement. You're trying to... I really think trying to have a game like that, trying to capture a PvP audience, is like trying to hold sand in your hand. You're just constantly having to refill it, and it's just slipping out the bottom. You're just always going to have that problem of players just falling out of the game and being like, yeah, I've had my fill. I've had a good enough time. They actually provide a lot of Ghost Gravewort summon upgrade material to help increase chances in boss fights for your summon. Right, they literally equip you in the Elden Ring DLC to make sure that your summonable is leveled up. A great way to learn bosses is to use your sign and get summoned by another player, no risk. Yeah, that's true. That's true too. Since the patch, things have changed slightly. A max blessing level, you now have 2.05 times damage and you take 0.48% times damage. Well, and they also made the earlier Shadow Tree fragments are more effective with damage mitigation in particular, just to help with survival. I think they probably looked at like death rates and fail rates in the early areas of Elden Ring and said, in the early areas of Shadow of the Erd Tree, and they said, yeah, we could probably afford to let people be a little bit more survival prone, because, you know, I think people were dying quite a bit. Peter Early Access. Remember Power World? That was an interesting month. Well, it is early access. It is early access. Yeah, Hilly, I saw you mentioned me on that. He says good stuff's happening this year. Yeah. I like seeing him with Jeff Keighley. Lido says the staggering amount of new summons and flower materials to level up that you get from exploring the Shadow Realm is enough evidence for that. Eugene says, I'm trying to play a game for a couple of months and be done. Ain't looking for anything to still be playing 2 years from now. Right. I think that's a general problem with these games as well, Eugene. Think about it. Like, most of the people that are going to dive in and play a new season in Apex every time it comes out, all of those people have pretty much already decided that's what they're going to do. Right? And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the same thing. Like, a lot of us have decided that I'm not going to play Apex or Fortnite or Warzone every season. We've made up our mind. We've played all of the games. We played Fortnite. We played Apex. We played we played Fortnite. We played Apex. We played Warzone. And we've decided, yeah, I'm not going to play this game on a regular basis. It's just not for me. So everything sort of settles into very predictable patterns. So you have people that have determined and decided, well, yes, I'm going to play Apex every time there's a new season, or Warzone, or Fortnite. So I think the types of players that want to play games like this long term have already chosen their game. And you're hoping to get new people to make your game that for them. Like, they want you to decide that, like, Concord's your game you're going to come back for week to week, month to month. And I'm like, dude, that is a huge uphill battle, because a lot of the people that like to play PvP games on the regular and engage with, you know, battle pass style content, seasonal content, ongoing content, you know, whatever you want to call it, they're obviously already settled on a game that they like. And guess what the rest of us have done? We've all done the opposite. We've all done the opposite. That's not true, Magic Dolphin. He knows why he was banned. He used a word on a stream that is considered derogatory. He already tweeted. That's not why he was banned. Shadow Tree scaling. After patch, before patch. Yeah, they spiked it up so that, like, by the time you're like a level 8 or a 9, you should have a pretty good amount of extra damage output. You really want to get to the... Is that the number of Shadow Trees at the bottom, Eugene, or is that the level? Amount. It look like... Am I drinking milk from a saucer? Meow. So yeah, it looks like when you get to about between 12 or 13... you really get a nice bump. You really get a nice bump. The overall increase is only 0.05 up from 2 for a total of 2.05. The big bonus is weighted now for Shadow level 1 through 10, and then it tapers off. Yeah. Plus 12 out of 13 is kind of the sweet spot. Yeah, it looks like after that, you just don't get as much of a benefit. Lono's growing cat ears. No, that's from Super Troopers, where he says meow. He keeps saying meow to the people in the car, and they're like, "Are you saying meow?" Am I jumping nimbly bimbly? What's he say in a nimbly bimbly in a tree or whatever? That's a soft cap, essentially, not getting big jumps after it, right? Wonder what FromSoft is going to do next now the DLC is done. They're going to move on to the next game. Miyazaki wants to do a non-traditional fantasy game from all that he said, so we'll see if he does. You know, we'll see if he does. Classic movie. Still worth getting, though. And a 5 bomb from Risic, taking us to 31 members on the day. He just set up a 20 bomb. That's a big one to 50. We'll see if anybody takes the bait, Risic. Guys, you do not have to worry about the big bombs. You guys can do the singles and the 5s. Get us all the way to 90 so Creature has to show up tonight. Probably later potentially repeating a post here, but this video was informative to say the least. Yeah, I referenced that video a couple of times yesterday and today, Osiris. Yeah, Asmongold reacting to the Never Roll Again video. He wants to explore Sekiro, Bloodborne combat. Yeah, I'm all about them doing maybe another Sekiro style game. I still think Sekiro is king. I've grown to appreciate Elden Ring a whole lot more now. There's a major part of me that wants to almost finish Erdtree and then go back and do everything in the open world. I mean, I know I'm on New Game Plus, you know, and I've already done it on that character, but I kind of have this itch to be like, okay, once I'm done with Erdtree, I want to go back into the base game on this character and just do everything. Every cave, every boss, every nook, every cranny. But the problem is like, that just takes so much time. And there are so many other games I want to play. Culprit behind Shadow of the Erdtree frame rate issues is your mouse. According to FromSoft player support, Shadow of the Erdtree's frame rate issues were caused by the player's mouse? What? Those guys made some good comedy. Super Troopers, Beer Fest, Club Dread, Slam and Salmon. I think I've only seen Super Troopers out of that bunch. You need a lot of crystal tears. Do it every Friday. The Leviathan video is amazing. I need to watch it 12 more times and experiment more. Do a run having access to everything you want to use. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. You know, we'll see. Guys, take a quick second. We're an hour into the broadcast, man. Smash that like button. We've never done this before, so the format today is gaming news this week. I've been bringing the news all week to you, and on Fridays you can bring the news to me. Is there anything I missed? Is there anything you want my thoughts on? Feel free. Ask it in the chat right now. Be like, yo, Lono, this big crazy thing happened this week. This story broke, or this video game did this thing. What do you think about it? And obviously, if it's about gaming, I'll discuss it with you. Do a run with nothing but a helmet on. They really don't care about frame drops and frame time. FromSoftware but at Optimized Games. Yeah, I mean, they certainly they can sit there and say it was your mouse, but like, come on, man, come on. We all know that they don't have the best optimization and they have frame pacing issues and dropped input issues. You know, Stonespire gifts a member. Thank you so much, and takes us to 32 members on the day. That's a good topic. Metroid 4 has to be running at 60. Stormkilla hit 16 months of memberships, and another gifted member comes in from Risic and takes us to 33. Okay, yeah, so the Metroid Prime thing, John Linneman from Digital Foundry shot down my observation with a word. He just said, nope. Therapy quantified with a gifted member takes us to 34. I basically said that, you know, this could be the first footage we've seen of a game on the Nintendo Switch 2. And John Linneman said, nope. And a bunch of people have pointed to other games that have done equally as well, I guess. Is that what I want to say? So here's my tweet. You know, I took a screenshot from the trailer and I said, the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond gameplay may be the first look at Switch 2 gameplay. This will likely be a cross-gen game, but this looks like a big step up from the current Switch. And John Linneman ratioed me into the Shadowlands, and he simply said, nope. He has almost 1,000 likes. I got like 200 likes. I appreciate the boost in views, though, so thank you for that, John. You teddy bear. 64, almost 65,000 views. But he said no. Now, this will be cross-gen, and likely will then get, I'm assuming, some performance boost when it does get, you know, on the Nintendo Switch 2. But apparently that wasn't. And another gifted member comes in from Stone Spire. Thank you so much. Puts us at 35. A nice even 15 from 50. Thank you so much, Stone Spire, for setting that up. We could do a 5-bomb, 10-bomb dunker. See if we get any tag teams to come in here. Looks like a good Switch game. Bayonetta 3 is what it reminds me of. Right. If anything, I think Prime 4, Metroid 4, whatever the full name is, we'll just call it Metroid 4. That actually looked to me like a game that, to me, it looks like, okay, that's going to run at 60. It honestly looks like it's running at 60 in the dadgum trailer, but, you know, I don't know if that's going to run at 60 on the regular Switch. And Borbs with the 5-bomb, tempting somebody to slam home the 10. Thank you so much for taking us to 40. You the man. Did you see this tweet? Alex from Digital Foundry says, Shadow of the Erdtree has the same core technical issues that the base game had roughly 2 years ago, and perhaps even more. Given the amount of money FromSoft rakes in, they should look at user technical feedback, as they obviously do not. Otherwise, there's no excuse. And a 10-bomb! British! He takes it and says, I'll do it! And he takes us to 50. And I'll give you guys the 5 that I owe you now. You're past the halfway point of summoning creature tonight. Thank you so much. You only needed 90 and you're at 50. You guys are crushing it. But yeah, I agree with what Alex is saying about Digital Foundry for sure. But on the subject of Metroid Prime 4, like, I'm really excited. I'm excited. If I can play that kind of game at 60 FPS on the Nintendo Switch 2, I'm kind of pumped for the next era of Nintendo. You know? I'm pumped for the next era of Nintendo. I am. Now, there's another thing you guys can do on Fridays. As I said, you can bring the news to me. We have an Ask Lono room in the Discord. And Patrick Q said, it's a pretty funny and weird game, but it might be good for a chill F-off stream. Would Lono play Disco Elysium? I'm going to say probably not. I like the idea of playing goofy games with you guys, but I also think we're largely going to say, let's play games that are new. Let's play games that are relevant. You know, something that's kind of hot right now. Like we might get into some Elden Ring later on. You know, stuff like that. So you guys can always use. Oops. You guys can always use the Discord room, the Ask Lono area, to submit questions, or just use chat right now. The PS4 version on the PS5 is still the best way to play. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Yeah, I had people trying to convince me to boot up the PS5 version of Elden Ring, and I was like, no, I'm going to keep playing the PS4 version because I don't have any major performance issues. I did, though. I did. We had issues with the button queuing not working properly, and I had a ton of frame issues in the Divine Lion fight. Like, massive frame drops. And it was because there's just so many elemental, things going on in that fight. There's the lightning, there's the ice. He has almost like a fog, smoky thing coming off of him when it's the ice. It's just like, and then he's spinning around really fast. He's got, there's environmentals to represent like the wind, because he, at one point he kind of looks like a tornado. PS5 version on the PS5 is the way to go. PS5 version is better. I mean, I get really, really consistent performance of the PS4 version on the PS5. And Joker Quinn is the agent of chaos. He pushes us past 50 to 51. Thank you so much, sir. Well on our way to summoning Creature to Friday night. I played on the PS5. It seemed fine. It's not like it's terrible. It's just there's consistent, issues with frame timing. There's hitches. Yeah, the breakdown, the tech breakdown is, it's dropping below 40 FPS. And listen, we had a guy say this the other day. He's like, I don't have any issues on mine. It must be your PS5. And I was like, bro, you don't have a special PS5. This has been measured and tested by tech outlets. This happens. The frame rate issue is a thing, still is. From an expert in the field, Alex from Digital Foundry, he's like, all the issues that were there at launch are still there. Raven with a gifted member, thank you so much. So it's like, we always get into this discussion and people are like, well, it doesn't happen on my Xbox or my PS5 doesn't happen. It's like, no, it happens. You just can't see it. You just can't see it. Sometimes you have a really nice television that's smoothing it over and you can't notice it. Sometimes, no disrespect, you don't have your eyes attuned to that type of thing. You just don't notice it. I notice every frame hitch, every frame drop because I have been a live streamer for 10 years. And every time you try out a new capture card or a new game or a new capture method in OBS over the years, there were always issues with frame skips and frame drops and everything else. So as soon as it happens, I see it. Because I spent hours trying to get rid of a micro stutter in OBS that still to this day happens. It doesn't matter what rig I'm on. It's a Windows level issue. It makes me tempted to upgrade to Windows 11 to see if it goes away, but still. I spent hours trying to get rid of a micro stutter in OBS, so I notice the minute it happens. So it's not an insult to be like, you probably just don't notice it. It doesn't mean it isn't happening. Is performance really bad on PS5? Using the PS4 version on PS5 sounds crazy. It's bad enough that I won't do it. Did you nuke your Discord audio? No? I see it popping right now. Here, hang on. Let me disconnect. And then let me join the stage. Speak on stage. Did that fix it? I accidentally clicked on the stage in my other Discord and it bumped me out. Okay, that fixed it? Okay, no problem. Yo, another gifted member from Stone Spire. Thank you so much, Stone Spire, taking us to 53. He's going to take us to 54. I know what Stone Spire's doing. He is going to take us to 55. I'm going to give him preemptive credit because I know this man. I know what he's doing. He is tempting somebody to drop the 20 bomb. We'll see if any of the big boys in chat answer the call. Stone Spire, I love you for that, dude. He's always setting these up, man. He's like, come on. He's like, somebody slam this home. I already beat Elden Ring on PS5, but whatever issues never impeded my enjoyment or ability to progress. I wouldn't start over on PS4. Too many hours spent. Thank you for the third gifted Stone Spire, taking us to 55 out of 75. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair way to say it, Zaf. Is like, you're like, it didn't hinder my ability to play. It didn't hinder my ability to progress. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It hindered my ability. Joker Quinn with the 5 bomb puts us to 60. He says, let's do this incrementally. See if we can get some more 5 bombs to train it up to 75. Thank you so much, Joker Quinn. Appreciate you, brother. And Ritzik with the single takes us to 61. You guys are just going to keep bumping the line all day, and I think it's awesome. Creature thought we weren't going to hit it this week. I thought we weren't going to hit it this week. I'll be real with y'all. I mean, I'll be real with y'all. I didn't think we were going to hit it, You can't say backwards. Yeah, like if you switch to PS5 and you play a bunch, you can't go backwards. Yeah, you can't go backwards. It's just one of those things where, they don't have it set up for that. You can't like bounce back and forth. Like, it's not like I could switch to PS5 version, play for 10 hours and be like, okay, yeah, it's still bothersome, let me go back. It's like, no, you can't do that. And another one from Risic takes us to 62 members on the day. Thank you so much, Risic. If it could save it backwards, it would be worth trying. Yeah. Did you see Dragon's Dogma is finally having CPU optimizations and added 120? They added, as far as I read, it looked like they added a graphics mode where you could set the graphics to low, but then you could also set it to 120. Can you just do low graphics mode and not do the 120 thing? Like, I just want 60 FPS in a game like that. Like, I don't care about 120. All you need to do is boot up a new character on PS5, fight the Tree Sentinel, and then do it on PS4. Yeah. That's it. That's always been enough for me. You know, I do a couple spin tests and I see hitches and snags and I'm like, I'm good. That doesn't happen on the PS4 version. Mike on the mic gifts a member. These single gifted start to add up quick, man. Takes us to 63. Appreciate you, sir. Don't care about 120. That's some peasant right there. I'm okay with 60. I've been okay with 60 for a while, you know. Hello, everyone. What's good, Honey Mustard Blackout? How are you? I play Dragon's Dogma 2 on console at the moment. The frame rate's all over the place. SDO, did you set the graphics to low? Have you tried the new thing that they added? Or are you just not even sure if it's frame rate at the moment or just a jittery game? I saw enough gameplay of Dragon's Dogma 2 to know that, like, I wouldn't be able to put up with the performance issues. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. It was obvious that it just wasn't performing well. I was like, I'm not doing that. It looks like you're saying, it looked all over the place. It looked jittery. There were times where I thought the graphics looked incredible. There were times where I thought the graphics looked, you know, like an old gen game. I know. Looks like the Astro Bot game size leaked. It's like, what, like 60 something gig? That's pretty good size. That's pretty good size. Might try to play with the settings then. I haven't. Yeah, they added a setting. I think you should be able to go into the settings and change it to low. I think it's low. You set the graphics to low or something. I really couldn't get into the DLC, says Zaf. The game feels old in terms of controls. I played Lies of P, Stellar Blade, and Ronin over the past few months, so Elden Ring. Yes, Zaf. Okay, so this was really interesting to me, Zaf. I played Stellar Blade, loved it. I played Ronin, loved it. I went Ronin, Stellar Blade, and then I went back to Lies of P. I swear I was better at the perfect blocks, at the parrying in Lies of P. I was better at it coming out of Stellar Blade. Like, I feel like the perfect parry in Stellar Blade was really tight. And even once you spent the skill point to make it easier, it was still really tight. Dude, I swear to you, I went back to Lies of P and I was better. I was like, I asked people, because I went back into that fight that was giving me so much trouble, and I asked people, I said, did they mess with the window for parries in Lies of P? And people were like, no. And I was like, it feels easier. And I had somebody else say, they said, oh no, I came to Lies of P from Stellar Blade and felt the same way. The perfect guards in Lies of P, once I got the hang of it, my entire experience changed. Yeah, somebody posted a clip in Discord the other night, and they're like, why does this guy's, combo never finish? And I'm like, why aren't you perfect parrying all of those? Just really easy, just big swings. I'm like, you should be going bing, bing, bing. You should be blocking all of those. You break them down. I did that to the clown. The first time I did it to the clown, I was like, oh, everything, this is what you need to do on every spammy enemy. I mean, I'd already been doing it, but the clown was frustrating me. And then I finally got close enough for him to do his spin. And when I got the timing down, because his spin is like fast, fast, slower, slower, slow, and punch. Like, he does this big thing at the end. And once you nail that, it's like the whole fight changes. There are fights where once you kind of see the matrix. And again, I went from Stellar Blade to Lies of P, and I felt like the parries were easier in Lies of P. Sekiro 2 has a tight parry system. I've had that experience before with other games. Yeah, like you go from one to the other and then it feels easier, for sure. I want to continue my thought because I like what you said. I want to continue my thought. When I went into Elden Ring DLC, I felt the same way. I was like, dude, I don't want to roll around on the ground. I look like a clumsy idiot. Gabriella Sunrise gifts 2 members and takes us to 65 out of 75, tempting the 10-bomb dunker. We'll see if anybody takes the bait. But I was like, I don't want to roll around on the ground. You know, I don't think it's interesting. I literally said it in the DLC stream. I was like, guys, I just prefer Sekiro. I just prefer games like Lies of P. I would much rather be blocking or parrying. This is why when I saw Asmongold's video, I was like, oh, I could do that. I could do that, dude. I love doing guard counter. Guard counter is like my favorite thing to do in the game. That bing, that sound, and when you break their posture, it's just, it's wonderful. And I wish the parrying in Elden Ring was better. I think the parrying in like Sekiro, Lies of P, and Stellar Blade, the parrying also in Ronin is really good. I think the parrying in Elden Ring, I can't stand it. I can't get the timing down. It's freaking weird. Instead of being like bing, you're almost doing, it's almost like a deflection. And so I can never get the timing down of parrying in Elden Ring. I don't know what it is. Yo, Brandon says, good morning, Lono in chat. I'm on the new YouTube view mode on live streams. It hides the ability to like the video. You have to close chat, get it to show up, just a heads up. Yes, it's terrible. I gave them a survey on it, and I said, what? Hiding the title of the stream, the name of the stream, like the streamer, I'm sorry, the title of the channel, the title of the stream, and the like button. Like, what are we doing? Why are you hiding some of the most important information? Exactly. The combat isn't dynamic, yet there are bosses that can jump around and do all these dynamic moves. Meanwhile, your moves are like a cardboard cutout. Yes. I love Souls games, but I couldn't get into Sekiro. It's very tight. So, Albion, I was struggling with Sekiro, and one sentence opened the game for me. Like, it was like a key going into a box and just opening up the game. I was playing Madame Butterfly, and I know people get frustrated because they were trying to give me this advice and they weren't communicating it as succinctly as this. Somebody said when I was in the Madame Butterfly fight, they were like, hit her until she blocks. Hit her until she deflects, I think is what they said. Basically, you hit her until she does one of the orange flash blocks. And I tried it once, and it was like I could suddenly see the Matrix. I was like, oh my gosh, like the whole game just like opened up. From that moment, because her fight, once somebody said that to me, and I tried it, and it worked, and then she retaliates, and then I parried what she did, I was like, what? And then I put all the pressure on her. I played super aggressive, and I beat her. I don't know how many times later it took for me to beat her, but it was like all of a sudden, I was in the driver's seat, and that was it. I was off to the races. I loved the game from that point on. I got to Ishin, and I got very demoralized. I wanted to quit. I was like, we shouldn't have played this game. And then when I beat Ishin, I've described it as, it was like a spiritual experience for me. It changed me. Like, it was like, oh, okay. You know, it was also personally meaningful for me, given everything that was going on at the time, like to push through something that seemed impossible and to come out victorious. It felt very deeply cathartic. You know what I mean? I told you over and over to stop being reactive and be proactive. Right, but you know how it is, Wheezy. Sometimes somebody says the right thing and it clicked in my brain. Somebody was like, hit her until she deflects. And I was like, what? And I was like, wham, wham, bing. And I was like, okay, I stopped. She went to attack. I deflected. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like a dance. It's like a dance. Like, it just, I don't know what it was about that sentence. You also have to remember is that a lot of the times when you're playing You're trying to play, you're trying to read chat, you're trying to play, you're trying to read chat, and sometimes chat says something, and it's just like, boom, it just like goes right off my head. It doesn't go in. I'm just like, yeah, and then I go right back to playing. Yeah, offense, defense are hand in hand. Attack can be deflect. Yeah. One sentence was jump on her head. That's right, Omar. Genichiro was a click for me. Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg, that's right. Sekiro was a masterpiece. The counter system is such a hook. Yeah, it's good. That is one game I've wanted to replay. I've wanted to replay Ghost of Tsushima on Lethal as well, just to see if I could hang. Elden Ring combat's not meant to be Sekiro. Elden Ring is an RPG at heart. This is true. This is true. And that's why I think it's okay to use everything at your disposal. It's a dadgum RPG. Like when you play like a game like Skyrim where you're like, well, I don't want to use that. That's really powerful. No, nobody does that. I found the Claymore in Elden Ring this morning and just started, right, Hilly? Get the Claymore. That was one of my first experiences with FromSoft meta, like the, you know, meta-minded players. And yeah, go get the Claymore, go get the Claymore. That guy just kept saying it. Go get the Claymore. If you got the Claymore, if you had that Claymore. That's become like a meme on the channel now, you know? Yo, what's good, Train? Good to see you. Is the boss rush mode available in Stellar Blade? Yeah, it's just a challenge. It's not a boss rush as much as it is you can go through and pick a boss you want to fight. And you can set the difficulty, you can set your loadout. Yeah, it's cool. It's really, really cool. They added that. I think you have to beat the game before you get access to it. Maybe. Where was the lie? Claymore, dude. Get the Claymore. Dark Souls 3 is the best Souls game for just pure melee 1v1 that's not Sekiro. You can just go in with the sword. Yeah, and I think that's why I liked Dark Souls 3 a lot. Like, it clicked with me. I didn't like the dancer. I liked Pontiff Sullivan. Who's the big guy that, like, summons fireballs from the sky to land on the platform with you? I really like that fight as well. He has a really cool shield, if I remember right. I think you get his shield. I remember I really liked the Pontiff Sullivan fight. I really liked that fight. There were a couple other fights I really enjoyed. Everybody thought, oh no, the dancer is such a great fight. I did not like the dancer. I thought the dancer was very spammy, very stunlock oriented. I didn't like it. I liked the final fight except for the scimitar stance, which was so difficult to predict. It was easier to just run away from him and wait for him to switch. Dragon Slayer armor, yes, I like that fight. Once that fight clicked with me, that was another fun fight as well. Dragon Slayer armor and Pontiff Sullivan, and there was the guy with their sibling on their back or whatever. I thought that was a good fight. That was enjoyable. Dark Souls 3 is my favorite of the Dark Souls trilogy. I beat that game multiple times on multiple systems. Dark Souls 3 is boring, says Wheezy. Wheezy says that Elden Ring is easy, Sekiro is actually difficult. Well, I mean, I don't know if I disagree with that, but I also don't know if I totally agree with it either, because you can make Elden Ring ridiculously hard. Like, if I played Elden Ring, no summons, I think the second half of Elden Ring would be more difficult for me than the second half of Sekiro. Does that make sense? Like, if you play Elden Ring in the way that makes it really, really difficult and really, really challenging, which is basically no summons, no magic, you just sword and board, or, you know, just a melee weapon in general. I think that's way more difficult than the second half of Sekiro. Second half of Sekiro, it's like, again, once you get the combat system in Sekiro down, I think it's very manageable. You have to get good in Sekiro. Right, like you can't divorce the fact that if you make it to the second half of Sekiro, you've probably gotten better in the game as you've played. So when you make it that far, the second half's going to be relatively, manageable compared to you can get all the way to the fire giant in Elden Ring and then everything is about to change. Everything is about to change. You get to that back half, you're going to be fighting frickin' dragons with lightning coming out of the sky, and the Godskin duo, and Melania, and it's like, oh, bleh, and then Malekith, and then the Elden Beast, and it's like, if you are playing pure melee, no summons, no magic, that side of the game is pain. It is pain. Yeah, there are no cheesy builds in Sekiro. Yeah. Is Sekiro 60 FPS on PS5? Yes. Liza P was developed in Korea, and my wife, who is Korean, knew it was just by the look of it. Everybody was beautiful. Even Geppetto was handsome. The first time encountering the Nameless King was epic. That's Gwen's disavowed son, too, so it makes sense he's a problem. You either get good or you don't. Yeah, you can't really do anything in Sekiro to negate the difficulty. That's true. Malekith is still top 3 boss fights ever for me. I kind of want to fight Malekith with my build now. Right? Heavy on the blocks, heavy on guard counter, strength, posture breaking, and then being totally fine with summoning. Like, I wonder if, like, again, when you play the game on your own terms, it's like everything changes. At least you can use Torrent in the Elden Beast fight. Yeah, any fight where you're in a giant arena like that and the boss is just gonna run away as much as some of those bosses run away. It's like, bro, let me have my mount. Like, what are we doing here? Lothric and Lorraine are the best. Also, the dancer is the best beyond what Lono says. I wasn't saying that the dancer's bad. I was just saying I don't like the dancer. I don't think the dancer fight's enjoyable. Dancer fight ticked me off. He starts spinning around like that. I'm also better at those games now than I was back then. So to me, I would probably go back and fight that dancer fight and feel a lot differently about it now. I think sometimes when you're new to those games, you can't really see the forest for the trees. You just get aggravated. I'm like, what the frick is going on? It's like, now I'm able a little bit more to break fights down and think logically. I still get agitated, though. I'm still, especially if they do a late fight combo that stun locks you. That's just massively triggering for me. I don't feel like there's a lesson in stun locking the player. I just don't. I don't think there's a lesson other than you better make sure you dodge the first one. It's like, okay, like, wow, that's so creative that they have 4 attacks strung together that if you miss blocking, dodging the first one, you get hit by all of the rest. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. To me, I've always been and always will be critical of that. I don't respect it. I'm like, wow, like, for example, when I stun lock a trash ad in a Souls game, is it satisfying? Do I feel like I've done something remarkable? No. I just spammed light attack because they have no poise to speak of, and they just go wham, wham, dead. I'm not like, oh yeah, I really beat that guy. So then why in the frick are you making a fight that's really hard and the boss is crazy, and that's what you're doing? You're like, oh yeah, second half of the fight. Yep. If they hit you with this attack, there's 3 more coming that you're now riding the pain train. You can't get out of it. It's like, that's cheesy. Like, I don't take any satisfaction or any pride in stun locking a trash ad because it doesn't take any skill. It doesn't take any ingenuity or any observational skills. It's just light attack. Oh, they staggered. Another light attack. Oh, they staggered again. And you just killed them. So it's like if you're going to make a boss that has these amazing move sets and this really cool animations and this awesome art style, and then you're like, well, welcome to the second half, or in some cases, like the one fight in Erdtree. It's like once they get down to like, what is it, like 25% of the health, they do that thing where they basically bounce you. And it's like if you miss the first jump, you're done. You're going to get hit by all the rest. And I'm just like, okay. It's like, all right. Nothing creative about that. Fuzzy says, I know you're feeling on her moveset. It's just when you look at how her music also reflected her combat, it's actually a masterclass in boss fights. Yeah, I wonder what I would think if I go back now, for sure. What is this? I'm now counting every Amazon Fire Stick sold as an Xbox console. New console sale numbers. Oh, man. That's funny. Completely outside of the genre, but the Nemesis boss battle in Returnal is my top boss battles of all time. The spectacle alone is incredible. Nemesis, which one is that? Because I don't have the bosses, their names memorized. Yes, that's a really good one. Yeah. Biome 3. That's a good one. The jungle you like in Street Fighter? It totally feels that way. You're just like laying there, just like boom, boom. It's like, okay. It's like, all right. You know? 25 to go, y'all. Creature needs the pain of tonight's game. Oh, yeah. You guys are only 25 away. You guys are crushing it. Keep it going on the members. Keep it going on the likes. You know? We've been talking from games. We don't have to tech from games. Listen. The subject of today is gaming news this week. You can bring up anything from the week and ask me my opinion on it. Anything that happened in the world of gaming, feel free to ask me what I think. And I'll be happy to entertain the subject. We've been talking about FromSoft games just because, you know, obviously Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is hot this week. We may be playing that later today when we hang out with the members in the Green Room, which is a new segment on Fridays for Member Plus and above, and a single gift that comes in from Alapark. Thank you so much, Alapark. All week long, we go to the Writers Room, and that's for all members, gifted members and up. But on Fridays, we're going to start going to the Green Room, which is the ability for you guys to hang out with me and chill, and we'll get into some gameplay maybe. People have been wanting me to play more Elden Ring. Flintlock Siege of Dawn has 20 minutes of gameplay now. Is this new? Let's see if this is new. Oh, this is 2 days old. It's unlisted. Well, I'm not going to show this to you guys then, because this could be... This is pre-release capture. This is some extended gameplay. So they have the skill tree in here. It breaks into 3 categories, and they're showing all the different ways you can make them overlap. The skill tree is actually pretty good. And a 10 bomb comes in from Risic in the form of an agent of chaos. My man Risic takes us to 76. Unbelievable. I owe you guys 5 more members. Thank you so much, my man Risic. So close to the weekly goal. You guys are awesome. And a single comes in from Stone Spire and takes us to 77. Thank you so much, Stone Spire. There's the 5 that I owe you guys. I owe you 5 every 25. Stone Spire is going to take us to 80, I think. He's taking us to 78. Somebody might want to get ready. If your fingers trigger happy and you want to drop a 20 bomb, then do it. People were saying that the Flintlock gameplay looked a little or felt clunky. I'm seeing that in this pre-release gameplay video that was put up by A44 Games. Again, they might not have the right to publish this, so I'm not going to show this to you or put this on my channel. But Insider Gaming has an article where they link to it. And Sheriff Bruce Lee is going to help out and slowly walk us to the 80 and gives us 79. Thank you so much, Sheriff Bruce Lee, helping out with Stone Spire's efforts to slow walk. RPG does the same, and there it is, 80 out of 100, right on the doorstep of another huge milestone for the channel. And today, yeah, I'm seeing elements of what people are talking about in this gameplay. I'm definitely seeing some of the clunkiness. I am seeing some of the clunkiness. And another one comes in from Stone Spire and takes us to 81. Thank you so much. Has anybody played the Flintlock Siege of Dawn demo on Steam? Rissick says, we haven't missed a creature night. Let's go. He says, let's not start. SBI detected. Won't touch that one. That's no. Are we going to say that every time a game comes out and the character's not a white guy? Come on. That Flintlock doesn't look like that at all. And a 10 bomb comes in from Rissick, and he takes us to 91. This guy's putting his money where his mouth is, quite literally. And another single from Stone Spire takes us to 92. And Therapy Quantified with a single takes us to 93. I watched Fighting Cowboy play it and it looked rough. Yeah, it just looks like the swings and everything look like they're very, yeah, they're very truncated. They're very compartmentalized. Yeah, it does not look very good. And a 10 bomb from Borbs. There it is. 103 members on the day. Borbs comes in as an agent of chaos and blast us past 100. You guys have done it. You have secured. Creature has to come by tonight. I stream with my wife. We hang out, we talk, we chill. It's basically a talk show with my wife. We have some drinks, and then Creature will join us, and we're going to play Party Animals. You don't want to miss it. If it's a cute game, if it's got adorable characters in it, Creature hates it. So you don't want to miss that tonight, all right? Have we looked at the BGE2 trailer yet? What? There's a new Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer? Where? That would have broke the internet. There's no new trailer. There was some 20th anniversary thing that they did. I was sus on how good Flintlock would be since they're dropping it so close with so little promotion. Dark Souls 1 playthrough when? Oh, I don't know about all that, dude. I don't know about all that. Yeah, the average Dark Souls 1 run back. Yeah, no thank you. I don't like games like that. No thanks. Yeah, the Star Wars Bounty Hunter announced trailer. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You got a brand new bottle of whiskey for tonight? All right. You're bringing Guinness tonight? Dude, bring it. 150 members in Creature has to play as a duck. I don't know if there's a duck in Party Animals. I don't want to start making promises we can't keep. 17 months from Moolah Tech, and it's a member plus. Hey, Lono, great show. These bosses got tech and strings, man. It's crazy. Wanted to drop a Shadow Tree fragment for the channel membership. Thank you so much. And a $5 super chat. Let's not forget the onesie also. And a 5 bomb of members from Moolah Tech. Thank you so much. It takes us to 108. I appreciate it. I gave you guys the onesie. I gave you guys the onesie and then some. I dressed up like Mr. Incredible. I don't want to hear it. You ain't gonna let me forget that. No. Yeah, typing out onesie phonetically is phenomenal. It really is. Isn't there an Italian themed Souls-like also? I don't know if it's Italian. I think Bleak Faith is in Unreal 5 and it comes to consoles in July. You might be thinking of Bleak Faith. Is that the game you're thinking of? It'll never be forgotten. It'll never be forgotten. Is this the game you're thinking of? This game has been on PC for a while. It didn't have the greatest of scores initially, but its score has gone up. And this one is coming next month to console. Oh, Inatria? No, Inatria got delayed. Inatria has a demo on, I believe, on PC and PS5. Inatria was going to come to PS5 and PC first and be delayed on Xbox, but now they've just delayed the entire game. So... Well, that is a terrible trailer. Let me see if I can get us some gameplay here. All right, IGN's got 16 minutes of gameplay. They've been working hard at fixing it. Let's get to some combat here. All right, maybe we'll get some here. What's going on? He was like swinging right through him. How old is this footage? Okay, this is a year ago. Yeah, this does not look very good. Do we have new footage from anybody? All of the footage is old. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody. I don't know if anybody's played it recently. I tried playing Bleak Faith Forsaken. This Jimmy the Owl has a video from 5 months ago. Let me see if I can get some combat for you guys. See if it's cleaned up at all. We need the onesie. If you want the onesie, you gotta earn the onesie. I did the dadgum frickin' I dressed up as Mr. Incredible. That's better than a onesie. All right, here we go. Holy camera, Batman. Couldn't friggin' see. Oof, graphics. Like, don't do foliage on the ground if it's gonna look that bad. Just don't do it. Just do a flat ground. Yeah, I don't know about this one, chat. I'm glad they've been making it better. Hopefully it runs a lot smoother. It ain't looking so hot, I'll be honest. It ain't looking so hot. So we'll see. That's 5 months old. So Bleak Faith on Steam, I think when we checked this the other day, it definitely has improved. Its overall score is a 71, but in the last 30 days it has an 85. So yeah, in Inatria, the last song is a UE5 Souls-like. IGN did hands-on 9 months ago. Let's get some combat here. Yeah, I just think the dilemma for games like this is always going to be, you need to establish something unique about the combat to stand out. I feel like Timesia did a really good job with that. You know? Yeah, but that... Okay, Dave, is that Bleak Faith Forsaken exclusive gameplay demo, new PS5 open world? I feel like that's one of those channels that lies. Is it new footage? I've been on that channel before, and I feel like they reuse other people's footage and lie about it, and they claim that it's something that it's not. Yeah, First Descendant is cross-play, cross-save. That is correct. We looked into that yesterday. Yeah, this game looks a little rough, honestly. I've not seen anything that would make me want to play this at length. I didn't see a single thing in that gameplay that would make me want to play that one at length. God of War on PC, they're saying is 50% off right now on Steam, July 27th to July 11th. There you go. And there you go, if you haven't played that one yet. Doesn't look good? Yeah. Yo, it's good games we love. How are you? No rest for the wicked. That's what I'm saying. Wonder if we could do a Friday night member play night. Well, we've done that before, Borbs. We've done that before. If you guys would prefer, we could play the cutesy, like, animal game or whatever with Creature, but after a bit, we can play something with the community. We've done that, like Jackbox. You don't have to install anything. You just open up a web browser. There's always Fall Guys. We've done Fall Guys private games before. There's Fortnite, Like, anytime you come to a Friday night, I would just have Fall Guys installed and just make sure, you can play Jackbox on anything, on a laptop, a tablet, an iPhone. You just need to be able to open up a web browser, Tried Chain Together on Friday night with the wife. We did Chain Together with Hilly, but I don't think Chain Together has local co-op, does it? I don't think it does. I did Chain Together with Hilly, but I don't think Chain Together offers local. That would be really hard. Oh, no, it does. It has shared split-screen co-op. It does. Have you checked out Sworn? It looks like Curse of the Dead Gods. I feel like I've seen Sworn. Hang on. Are you talking about Raven Sworn? Oh, no, just straight up Sworn. There's one called, like, Raven Sword or Raven's whatever. Yeah, that's a co-op roguelike. When's it coming out? Yeah, this one looks good. The graphics in Curse of the Dead Gods was excellent. It's like Curse of the Dead Gods, kind of like Hades. Yes, yes. You missed game night with Creature? Yeah, we've been doing that. We've done it a couple times now. We did Fall Guys, and then we did Foam Stars. Yeah, Raven's Watch, that's it. Yeah, Raven's Watch is like a co-op rogue. Wish list on PlayStation. Do we have a release date for this yet? No date yet? Oh, it looks so good. I want more rogues to play with Madam. Like, Gunfire Reborn is really enjoyable. They're adding co-op to... It's not really a rogue, but like it can have short play sessions. Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb is getting co-op. So is Brotato. Yeah, we did Fall Guys and Foam Stars, 2 different nights. Yeah. Grotesquely pay to win? What game is that about? Oh, First Descendant. What curators say. Warning, studio behind this game is notoriously for creating free-to-play games like these that are grotesquely pay to win. On top of this, they also have a long track record of shutting down titles. Yeah, people are worried that that's going to happen with First Descendant. Yeah, I thought about trying Risk of Rain 2 with her. I thought about it. Rogue Legacy 2? I don't think that's co-op. I don't think Rogue Legacy 2 is co-op. I thought I looked that one up. Yeah, I'm watching a guy right now, and the title of his video is Ultra Co-op. I don't see... This is not co-op. Cooperation, to work together or act jointly, a common pursuit. Co-op doesn't necessitate meaning two-player. We're working together and bouncing ideas off each other constantly. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's not co-op, dude. The 15 best co-op roguelikes you could play. Yeah, see, I've watched this video. There's a lot of these are on Steam. So that would be a no-go for us. Voidigo. Like if you're looking for co-op games to play, most of these are on Steam. Voidigo was one. Ship of Fools was another. We tried Ship of Fools. We didn't like it. Ember Knights, I thought looked great, but it's currently PC only. Oh, PC and Switch only. Children of Morta, we've heard good things about, but when I booted it up, I couldn't figure out how to just get started. It seemed like it was going to have a pretty long intro. I don't think Wizard with a Gun is co-op, is it? Nuclear Throne. This one looked good, but it also looked a little spammy, so I didn't know if she would like it, you know. This one looked good. This is Streets of Rogue. Returnal, obviously. Spelunky 2. The biggest problem with Returnal is the co-op person doesn't get to save. She didn't want to play Played Up. I wanted to try Played Up with her, but this could be a game for Creature. He has to play Played Up with me. This is basically like Overcooked, but different. RoboQuest is excellent. This one's excellent. This one's on Game Pass. It's also on Steam. I played this with my nephews a bunch. Over Thanksgiving. I would love for this to come to PlayStation so my wife and I could play it together. Vampire Survivors added co-op, but I didn't think she would like this. This isn't really her speed. Binding of Isaac has co-op. Gunfire Reborn. This is the one that we have played. Very much like Borderlands, but in a rogue. And then Enter the Gungeon. Enter the Gungeon. She doesn't like twin stick shooters. It's hard to honestly, it's hard to find one. Yeah, she might like Risk of Rain. She might like Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain 2, I should say. I really wanted to get her into Returnal, and I wanted Gunfire to be the catalyst. Again, the biggest problem with Returnal is if like we beat Biome 1 and we get to Biome 2 and I save the checkpoint, the next time we play, she'll be back at ground zero. She won't have anything. And I just don't like that. It's like, why can't we both save the checkpoint, you know? How old were your nephews when you could actually play a game with them, not like playing with a kid? Probably around the time they got, you know, at like, once they get around 10 and up, it's possible. Like, my son is 8, and I can play games with him in a serious way. He and I beat the first major boss, the pirate ship. He and I beat Gunfire Reborn together. Now he and I and my daughter are all playing Hypercharged Unboxed on Xbox. We've been playing that co-op, and they were loving it. My son picks up games extremely quickly. He'll pick up games and figure out mechanics extremely quickly. Oldest nephew is 6, so I got some waiting to do. Yeah, you know, maybe a year or two. I feel like my son started playing games with me around 6 or 7. You have to start with just more basic games, you know, like Mario Party. Wizard with a Gun is 4-player now. What platforms is it on? Wizard with a Gun? 80% on Steam. It supports online co-op. That trailer had no gameplay. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know. This might do this. The twin stick shooter thing throws my wife off. It really does. It throws her off. It depends on how you can set up the controls. She liked playing as a demon hunter in Diablo, but it was because the same joystick that she used to move around, she could use to aim, because she would move around and then she would hold down the button to shoot, and it would co-op was just added. Huh. She has a hard time with that, like the moving Wizard with a Gun platforms. The moving and the shooting at the same time. It looks like Wizard with a Gun is on PS5. Yeah, it's on PS5. Yeah, we could try it. We could try it and see. I'm telling you, we tried the Ascent, and the minute she has one joystick to move and the other joystick to shoot, it's like a deal breaker. She's like, I don't want to fly a space shuttle, just shoot baddies. Yeah, she's talking in the Discord. Zenless Zone Zero looks amazing, super polished. The parry block system looks clean. Yeah, just be aware that's from the makers of Genshin, so you're going to get into a gacha game. You got to be careful with those. If I'm going to yell at him for sucking, at what age will he not cry? My father only played one video game with me in his 74 years of life. It was Arachnoid on NES, or Arkanoid on NES. You guys tried Don't Starve together. I don't think it's a rogue, but I also don't think it requires 2 sticks. I looked at the gameplay of Don't Starve together, and I'll be honest, it just didn't look like... It just didn't look like something that we would enjoy, yeah. It didn't. Did I do the 5 that I owe you guys? I don't know if I did or not. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have. I've done my 20 that I owe. Is the Ascent any good? Yeah, the Ascent is really good. It's a solid game. I feel like the Ascent has good scores like everywhere. Like, I think people really, really liked it. It's $6 right now on the Steam because of the Steam sale, I think. Yeah, it's literally $6 on the Steam sale. It's got a 75% on Steam, but in the last 30 days it has a 65%. I don't know why it's got such a low score there. Let's look it up on PlayStation Store, the Ascent. I felt like people really liked it. Maybe I'm I don't know, maybe I'm incorrect. It has a 3.97 on PlayStation, so actually that's not that great on PlayStation. That's less than an 80%, just shy of an 80%. That's not terrible, but that's also not a particularly strong score on PlayStation. Usually if something drops below 80% on PlayStation, I'm a little leery. It's not at like 75 or 74. It's got a 79, so it's got a solid score, but I'm always a little leery. It's like, well, you know, if it, because most games that do well are in like the mid 80s and up on PlayStation. The people that use the review, like the scoring process on there, they're not prone to being like tanking something's score. So when something drops below 80, I'm always a little concerned. I liked it. I thought the Ascent was great, but we didn't play it for very long. Yeah, Dark Light's pretty cool. I've seen them tweeting, gameplay footage and stuff on Twitter. It's good stuff. It looks like a good game. Might be issues with co-op in the Ascent. I guess I'd have to read the reviews and see why it's that low. Because that is way lower than I expect. I put a link for the Nano controller in Discord. I bought something called a Nano controller for Xbox on Amazon. It's very tiny and really easy for kids' hands to play. Nephew was struggling with the full-size controller. Let's take a look at this. Without something for scale, I can't even tell that that's smaller. It looks nice, but without another controller for scale, I can't tell. Deceive Incorporated is a fun co-op game. Isn't Deceive Incorporated kind of like Among Us? Like you're trying to trick people? Yo, TRM15 with 27 months in the VIP. Did you rewatch IV Rising? I'm playing now with my girlfriend. It's fun. I don't think that game would be our vibe. Don't pre-order. Don't pre-order. Don't having pre-order. Don't pre-order. Don't pre-order. Don't pre-order. Pushes the new game. That's a funny gif. Oh, the guy in Kind of Funny Games said he bought that controller also for his kid. Yes, I played through It Takes Two with Hilly. I believe the entire playthrough is on this channel. And then I played through it with my wife all the way through. And then I played through it with my son all the way through. So yeah, I played through It Takes Two a handful of times. Yeah, the full playthrough of It Takes Two is on this channel. And hang on a minute. This isn't right. Sort by date published oldest. There we go. It's 6-parter. It's a 6-parter. Roughly 3 hours every time. No. Took us close to 20 hours. I've been playing Vampire Survivors with my wife. Not twin stick, and abilities are automatic. So you just have to move. Yeah, I don't know if we would get down with the whole like having to stop and build thing. I don't know. I mean, we enjoyed our time in Lego Fortnite for a little bit. My issue with Lego Fortnite was more that it just, I don't know. It got so grindy. Like it's one of those games where like the early grind is so fun. It's so satisfying. And then you get into the later grind, and it's just not. Okay, Zubair's got a picture for comparison's sake. Yeah, I think that's more helpful to see, like, where the differences lie. So if you guys are interested, this is the difference. Let me zoom in. There we go. You got a little bit of you can see the distance from like here to here, especially from like the edge of this to the thumbstick is significantly smaller. The thumbsticks look a little bit bigger too. You can really also tell when you look at how close the bumpers are together as well. Sexy foot in the pic is a free bonus. I zoomed in to try to keep that out of the frame. I realized your foot was in a frame, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. So, if you're looking at getting that, I mean, it looked like it had good reviews. It looked like it had good reviews on Amazon. It's got almost 1,000 ratings and has a 4.3. That's pretty good. I got a confession. I pre-ordered Black Ops 6. Oh, you did you? All right, guys, in about 10 minutes, we're going to go to a brand new segment called The Green Room. Monday through Thursday, we end the day in the writer's room, and that's where we plan the next day's shows, and it's very sort of on task. But on Fridays, we're going to go to the Green Room, and that's just a place to hang out, maybe play some games. I might get back into some Elden Ring today, maybe play games with you, and it is reserved for Member Plus and up. So if you're looking to upgrade your membership, this is a great opportunity to do it. We are going to start celebrating milestones of people paying for their own memberships. So currently we have about 620 people paying for their own memberships. When that hits 700, we will celebrate with a Saturday stream, an extra stream. It'll be a blast. It'll be a celebration. And maybe doing this Green Room on Friday will give some of you a reason to say, hey, let me pick up my own membership. Let me go into this. It's only $1 more. It's $6. So we're always willing to do more content when we hit milestones and do celebrations and things like that. I always want to say, hey, I'll do extra. You know, I'll do this extra stream. I'll do this thing. We're always wanting to do that. We never want to like take away, right? And also, Monday through Thursday now. Again, Monday through Thursday is pretty much locked in. I will start today with the members in a segment called Morning Coffee. So at 9 a.m. Eastern, you can expect to see me there. We're going to see if I can swing that on Fridays. Because I typically am doing something Friday mornings from about 6:30 till about 8 o'clock. That makes it a little tight, but I think I might be able to swing it. We're going to start scheduling morning coffee like the night before. So you members should see that. That's where you should start every day except for Friday. Again, we're going to see if we can't swing it on Friday, but if we can't, Monday through Thursday, you should see, morning coffee scheduled the night before. Yo, Famous Frosty with 27 months of memberships. Host, well, mate, how are you enjoying Shadow of the Erd Tree? I'm liking it. I went back in with a good build and a better outlook and a different perspective of the game entirely. And, yeah, I'm having a good time. And then the morning I went back in, they updated the game to make the early Shadow Tree fragments give you a bit more of damage resistance. Not a ton more, but enough that I felt like my survival rate was really good. Random question. Do you see Xbox making a version of the DualSense? I mean, they had draw-ups, from the FTC leaks. They had like a picture of like their own controller, and I think there was rumors they were going to come out with a controller that had haptic. With how many controllers they make, I don't know why they wouldn't have, a high-end or an enhanced or some type of controller that's better than the one they have now, I don't know why you wouldn't do that. Given how much the controller, the lineup of controllers they already have. I don't know why you wouldn't do one. Final Boss Middle Finger Starter Pack. It looks like people are using the fingerprint shield and some kind of a sword. I don't know what sword this is. What sword is this? It's like people are coming up with more builds. For late game Elden Ring. I've been wanting to buy DualSense Edge to resolve the drifting issue, but I don't know if there's a new version of it coming. I've heard rumors. The rumors about a new PlayStation controller is a PlayStation controller with more battery life. I don't know if it would be like an Edge where you would have a like the removable joysticks and stuff. It seems to me that they would it would just be like the standard DualSense with increased battery life. Thrusting swords and spears are really good for shields when traversing the world. Yeah. Yeah. I really like the current build I have with the Milady and the fingerprint shield, and then there's also the hammer you guys had me using as well. That was really fun. All right, guys, 5 minutes, and we're going to be going to this new segment. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to schedule that segment now. We don't have any other goals to hit, no stretch goals or anything like that, so you guys can totally hold off. Save your gifted members for next week. Save your gifted members for next week. And now would be the time to do member plus and up. Now would be the time to upgrade. The green room is an end of the week segment. Unlike the writer's room, this is about hanging out, playing games, and vibing with the community. All right. And we'll just do gaming member. And we'll probably be playing some Elden Ring. We'll see. Maybe I'll pull some folks in. I don't know if I want to do like open world Elden Ring, just because that can get a little annoying, because you're gonna have people coming in and invading, and I don't play PvP in Elden Ring. We'll do visibility, member plus or higher, noon. Yeah, no Mike today, by the way. No Mike. Ordinarily, we would be going to a segment with Mike right now, but he's not here this week. Last night, I got someone to help with Radon, and the other cooperator had a fingerprint Milady build. Whatever build and buffs they were using was wild. They basically soloed him while taking the slightest damage and chunking his health. I upgraded my membership last night. Hey, thank you so much. If you guys are looking to upgrade, I'll put a link in chat with the command to do it. You basically go to the paid memberships page on the channel, and it should give you the opportunity to upgrade. It should give you the opportunity to. And that just helps me out. That helps other people out. It's a great way to support the channel directly, instead of relying on the gifteds, and then you're making room for other people to get a gifted membership. So, consider doing that. And then you get more content, right? It's definitely something that benefits you as well. This is, again, something we'll do once a week. We're not trying to take things away from anybody, right? All right. Let me get you guys a link as well to where we're going. Again, new segment, the green room. A time to chill, a time to just kind of vibe and get to know one another. I'm going to spam a link in chat. That is where we are headed. Okay. It could be fun watching y'all 3v1 invaders and crap on them. I just don't know if I'm interested in that. though. All right. Thanks so much for being a member plus or higher. This is a brand new segment called The Green Room. So if you've been at a member plus or a VIP and supporting with that extra high tier, this is a new segment just for you on Fridays. It's not like the writer's room. It's designed to be like a green room. We're just hanging out, we're chilling, we're just kind of doing whatever. And a lot of the times we'll be joined by Mike. He wasn't here this week. He's had some things to do. And Creature will be here. We might just play some games. We might just hang out. We might just vibe. And that's the point, is it's not meant to be this structured thing like the writer's room and other things. And so if you've upgraded, thank you so much for doing that. If you haven't yet upgraded, you're watching the tail end of the gaming news this week segment that we did. Thank you so much for your support. Consider upgrading. Don't forget that tonight is for everybody. All members gifted and up can come tonight. And I'll be hanging out with Madam. We kind of open up every Friday night with like a talk show, having drinks, having laughs, and then Creature will join us. And we'll be playing Party Animals or Animal Party or whatever the heck it's called. We'll see you then. I'm going to end that stream and redirect people over. And then I'm going to change that thumbnail so that it no longer says we are